Hello everyone, this is Stefan at Lush&SaltyAquariums. How's everybody doing? I'm okay, thank you. Long day at work and looking at the saltwater tank with its evening lights on, and I've decided to show you guys the whole tank but focus on a couple things in it, and they're pretty obvious. We're going to be looking at the leather coral, of which two massive, actually three specimens, actually four specimens are all in view right here. The first one being this massive toadstool, long polyp, long tentacle, toadstool variety. It is a pink white in color, and it is just gigantic. Like, this is my hand, and it's just big and all the way around this piece of live rock. So this is 125 or 175 gallon saltwater tank, and you can see how much real estate just that leather alone takes up. I got it size of a, I don't know, it was bigger than a golf ball. I mean, it wasn't a tiny frag, but it has quadrupled in size, and I've cut it, I've fragged it already. You don't even see the evidence of that anymore. It's a nice shot. Look at those pretty polyps flowing in the current. This will pull particulates from the water column. I use reefroids, which is an awesome powdered food, and live baby brine shrimp, which I believe will get caught by these polyps, especially if I turn the power head off so that there's less water flow pushing the little creatures away from the polyps there. Now over here, unfortunately, they're somewhat out, like sort of a 5 o'clock shadow, but this is another variety of toadstool leather, and it too can expand to about that size. Right now it's somewhat contracted. You see evidence of where I sheared a piece and started its growth elsewhere. I fragged it and it's healed, but you can see the indentation. And the two of these are just like two monsters sitting side by side. They don't seem to be hurting one another, probably because they're in the same species, although that's no guarantee. But they're both growing really, really well, and so I don't see one cannibalizing the other for real estate or food. Here's a smaller leather. I believe that's its own organism and not a frag from this one or another. And in the back, that is a frag right there that came from this one. You see how they're both really the same in terms of look, feel, but that one has a classic toadstool appearance to it, and it's looking really good. Kind of cute there, like a mushroom out of Alice in Wonderland. And that is definitely a baby from this one. This is a cabbage leather with the neon green. It's supposed to be kind of floppy like that, although if you tried to pull it off the rock, it would not happen. It's definitely encrusted upon that rock. And this is a leather as well. This is not a Kenyan tree coral. It's a leather as well, but it has more of a branching style. So really we have four incredibly different varieties of leather coral sitting side by side by side by side, and I think that's pretty outstanding. So in the spirit of leather, let's continue and look at this beautiful long polyp variety. I gotta tell you folks, this is a frag from that. So it too is loving being on the top of a piece of its own live rock. If I did nothing to this aquarium, I imagine in a couple of years I'd basically have two massive leathers on either side. Well, hell, I already do, but more so. This is a green Neptheria. I think I'm saying that right. It's a little bit of an exotic. I wish it was doing slightly better, but it's firm and holding its own. I think it's all right. It probably wishes it had a little more light. I'm not sure, but it's been maintaining for at least a month, maybe longer in that condition. This is another frag from that monster long polyped leather. I have a lot of these growing in here because they do so well, so I keep on fragging them. This is another kind of leather. It has, you can see, its own sort of body morph, giving it those big bumps and lumps. Pretty sweet. The camera, the iPhone, tends to make them all look the same color. To the naked eye, you do get distinctions, but yeah, the white, pink, purple is what is happening for the most part. I'm okay with that. Obviously, it'd be awesome if they were all radically different, but I'm looking for corals that do well in my tank, and I'm tired of investing in exotic, beautiful corals that just wither away and die. I like the green morph of these Paleothoa grandes. They will eat like a Venus flytrap. I can put pieces of shrimp in their center there and they'll close up around them. But this was about the leathers, and so I've shown you a number of different kinds and some babies. There's another baby right there. There's the baby of the green cabbage leather. You see it through the back. So that's a frag from Mama over here. And on and on. Is there anything else you would like me to feature in this aquarium? I will say that leather corals are on the easy side, to propagate in your tanks. They do not mind somewhat quote unquote dirty water and a busy bio load, which is clearly what I have here. I mean, the water is clean for sure, but not pristine for small polyp stony coral or SPS coral. That just won't work in here. There's too many particulates, too much activity, and leathers, they'll thrive in it because where they're typically found is busy, more turbid areas, or quite the opposite, more languid and somewhat stagnant. So both of those environments will have dirtier water, which suits the leather coral and all those polyps for feeding. And there are other characteristics of leather corals that make them no-brainers for your tank for beginners. I will say that they do release toxins. If you're not careful, you can spread some pollution, but I've not had that experience. When I frag these, I don't pull them out to do it. I just cut them in there and let the filter do its thing, and I don't believe I've had any problems along those lines. Other than that, hit me up, ask me questions. Happy to provide feedback. I'd even give someone a frag if they're in the Bay Area. I'll cut you off a piece of one of these leathers. Just have to ask. As always, keep your hands in the tank. Ciao for now.